Whoa! Look at us on a Saturday. Happy Sabbath to everyone who acknowledges this day as the Sabbath. I saw a couple of funny videos actually earlier today about people like why would anybody not like if you acknowledge it as a Sabbath or not, that's kind of your business. I don't know, not like your business, but it's not something I think that people need to be in. I guess it doesn't need to be a big deal, but apparently for some people it is. Some people it is. But at any rate, happy Sabbath if you acknowledge it as a Sabbath. If not, then no. But welcome to the show. I'm excited. It's a Saturday, Sabbath day, and it's been a minute. So, hey y'all.
3 weeks.
I am Courtney Omega Doss.
I'm Devon Doss.
And we're about to get into it. I guess we have a couple of things to kind of update everyone on before we get started, because it has been, as hubby just said, it's been 3 weeks. Woo. Still in January though, so that's good. I mean, I think it would have been kind of a little odd if we would have been like, the next time we're coming on would have been like, a few months into the new year. So that's good. So accomplishments in small doses. I'm very excited to share that I was acknowledged or honored. I am an honored winner of the AA Athens Anti-Discrimination Movement for the Social Justice Champion of 2025. No. The social? Yes. We should have gotten it already.
I know. I just realized that I don't have this in the middle. Go get it.
Listen. Listen. For real. It needs to just no. At any rate, thank you all who voted, who hit the site up, who gave some prayers and some well wishes. It was an incredible night. I actually had started feeling like I hadn't won, and trick of the enemy. And I was actually the first one that was called, and so I was so excited. I didn't even have time to get back on my heels. I accepted my award in my flats, but that's probably good too, because y'all, I am not the hill walker like I used to be. Hill walking does not look as awesome as it did when I was in my 20s and 30s. I will say that. Actually, I haven't really worn heels on a consistency since my early 30s. Like once I started having these babies, y'all, the heels kind of became a thing of the, yesteryears. But occasionally I do like to break them heels out because heels do something different. But at any rate, I was glad and pleased to be able to accept the award, even though I had on my ballet flats. They were cute. And also just a big shout out to Mocha and Noah Johnson of the Athens Anti-Discrimination Movement, because literally we were talking just today on our Zoom build today about communication and how communication can get mixed up. And literally because of communication that got mixed up, we really thought like these people were not like trying to use their position to help us. And little did they know, communication got lost and rerouted, and they had no idea what we were, not only the challenges that we were being faced with, but the triumphs that we were achieving. Like they had no idea about the court, the hearings, the courts, the threats of displacement. They had no idea about it. So big shout out to them for literally just being bigger people and saying, hey, you know what? No matter what you might have said or thought, you still are deserving of this acknowledgement and this recognition for what you're doing in this community. And it was a great night. Like, it was a really great night. It was a lot of lot of lights, good food that even though I wasn't able to consume any because I was still fasting, but good relationships, just it was a lot of good energy in that room, a lot of healing, I think, people talking and ideas being shared and relationships being forged and built and commitments being made and it's still continuing. So kudos Mocha and Noah and the Athens anti-discrimination movement, and a big congrats to all of the winners and thank yous. And actually saw someone, literally the person that gave me my first ever brick and mortar, actually in our dating history actually started, like we met at my best friend and at a mutual mutual colleague's home. My best friend, but just a mutual colleague from my husband's point of view. But our dating happened or started at this particular person's
was that a date
space. It was a date. It wasn't a romantic date, but it was a date because it was set out like it was supposed to be. It was a date because it was agreed upon. It wasn't a romantic date. It was a date that you had agreed to come and eat at the cafe, and a date that I literally was like, I'm going to open it so that you can come and eat there. So it was a date. It wasn't a romantic date. It wasn't intended to be a romantic date. And then, as God does, he still moves. Things happened throughout that particular day and set us in motion. And literally, here we are.
Yeah.
3 years later. Okay. So that was pretty big. And also, I'm sure if any of you care to know, President Donald J. Trump has had now his second inauguration, being sworn in as president. That happened. So that's a pretty big update. And
speaking of Trump,
yeah,
I just seen something literally like minutes before we, like after you was in the kitchen doing something with the salad. But he is proposing something that would eliminate income tax.
Interesting.
If he get this off, man, he might be like in office for life. Like what he's proposing is I didn't look at the whole story, just kind of a little snippet. I'm gonna backtrack and see exactly what was being said about that, but just it might be clickbait, I don't know, but I'm gonna go on Google and see if I can find some outside of YouTube and but if there's any facts to that and he get this off, no income tax? What? Listen. Yeah. That might be like the single-handed that's the coup. That is a coup. Because this country might be like this like he will be like the czar. You don't think so?
I don't.
No?
I don't know. Like I don't even think about stuff like that. Like
I get it. I understand. But like 90% of the population don't. They do. Like like taxes is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to eliminate like that means like you pretty much getting your whole check. I mean, outside I think Social Security. And to this day I still don't know what FICA is.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I honestly don't know enough about it to kind of like even weigh in like seriously what I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But
anyway, let's proceed.
Yes. And of course, the same day that the President Donald J. Trump was being sworn into office for the second time, was King's birthday. And then the day after was our 3rd year Athens anniversary. Wow. So a lot has happened. And then later on that week, of course, I'm a mother, queen mother to my 16-year-old king. Happy belated birthday, KK. Okay. He's still now just getting used to that, y'all. KK. But happy belated birthday to him. So yeah, so much has happened and so much is still happening. Things are really picking up, with the business being delivery only business right now, exclusively delivery only. And we are preparing for a big event next month, our annual Youth Empowerment Summit. And because it's in Athens, it is a yes. And so we are looking forward to that. And so we're still in the planning stages, but that has been developing more and more. So very much looking forward to it. Just 2025 is just prepare for rain, y'all. It's looking like a great year. So, and not looking like it will be a great year. So any updates on from your end before we start with our meat and bones for today?
No, I believe you covered everything as far as updates. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. Did I? No. Yeah, that's everything. Yeah.
So the main topic for today, I know we had discussed a few others, and we probably, as we're talking about this, we'll remember a few others. And this is going to be good, y'all, because like I said, it's been a minute. Like we have a lot of conversations to ourselves, but and then we'll say, hey, we're going to do a show, and then life starts lifing and things start moving, and then we weren't able to do the show. So there are probably a lot in here that we're going to revisit in a couple of minutes, but we're going to start off with our main one. Are nonprofits really business? This is kind of like, y'all, this is one of those conversations. This is one of those, because occasionally, periodically, we will bring you in on conversations, and we'll just be like, we should have the camera on, because we'll get into these conversations and we're like, okay, we should have the camera on, because we get pretty deep into it. Like we start looking at some things, and we start, really processing some things, and it's good to just kind of get the thoughts out loud, if you will. And so this was kind of one of those conversations that we were just thinking about this and talking about this, and then we were like, we should turn on some cameras. We should make this like a show. We should get some other input, that sort of thing. So we had planned on doing this show literally
2 weeks ago.
No, it was the day before the awards. We were planning on doing the awards, and then you were like,
the topic, we should. Then we said, no, just wait.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we unveiled it.
Yeah.
When, we got the
we
big
would have
dub,
the trophy. Yeah. You would want to do it the day after. But originally we had planned on doing it before before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Before you start making your point, you look kind of spiffy today too.
Spiffy.
Yeah.
This is like on the tail end of my
I'm trying, because I've seen you in this outfit before, but it's doing something different today.
That's interesting. There's no
spiffalicious.
Is that a word? No, it's not.
It is now.
But
spiffalicious.
Spiffalicious, thank you.
Naima agrees with me, right? Naima, spiffalicious. That's a word. No, but listen. Before you like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Up until I started doing research, right, on SSMs, nonprofits, what was the 509s? There's a whole lot of 501 this and 509 that, 508 this, 507 is all comes under this nonprofit umbrella. But these things are not nonprofit. And when you start to like actually do some digging, and you see that these 501(c)(3)s or 501(c)(3)s,
C3s,
it's kind of like low level. They are it's a lot, and it would be a lot to dissect. And this is why these people get so much money to do these filings.
Right. Right. Talk about that.
But nonprofit don't mean not profitable. So with that being said,
that's a trick of the enemy.
Yeah. With that being said, let's eat.
Let's eat. Okay.
Yeah. Let's eat.
So nonprofits, are they really business? For sure they are. But I want to kind of delve into how we even got on this particular conversation. So for years, y'all, I have avoided wanting to do a nonprofit. And strictly because of the main reason, the competition for nonprofits is so it's so disappointing and unnerving because of the fact that you would think that, okay, I'm going to be amongst all of these people that want to do all of this good. But if anybody is operating in the world of nonprofits, you know that that's not the case. This is just for a lot of companies, especially the ones that can't afford to put themselves in the forefront for these competitive grants. They are people that are just looking to make ways for their rich friends and cronies to tax write off anything that they're doing. And also too, it gets to a point where to me it's very disgusting that people just start to ask if you have a nonprofit because it's like they won't even make a contribution unless they can get a tax write off for it. Yeah. And I'm like, what type of feel good stuff is that? So the question about are nonprofits really good business? That's the question. Not if they are business, but if it's good business, because you would think that you have all these people that want to, do good, and they're doing these very charitable and human, they're just, being good humans, and this is their lane to make sure that they're not eating up, their works are not being overshadowed because they aren't profitable, and we're not being eaten up like sharks. But when I tell you this, verily I say unto you, I'm going to make an account of how many times actually Jesus had to say that to somebody. Verily I say unto you. Verily, I say unto you that exact opposite thing is happening in the world of nonprofits. Like there needs to be a nonprofits, and then there needs to be a real nonprofit. And I think kind of we've stumbled upon that a little bit, or not that we've stumbled upon it, but it was introduced to us in the world of SSMs by way of my very good, longstanding beloved friend Goldie. Had no idea about SSMs and how they operated, but it seems to me like that this might be actually an avenue for literally people that are living their ministry, not people that are looking for a tax break to kind of, move some money around and hide behind it. But so the question is, the question of the day is, are nonprofits really good business? Not are they really good business, are they really good business? And I think for the most part, it's been really hard for me to find nonprofits that are strictly doing good business. It's been very, very rare. And I have been working in and around, or with and around nonprofits for probably about 17 years now.
You asked a great question. That's a great question. But you know what though? I think the question should be asked is, because for me, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of strictly business, which would mean you're looking at the bottom line, you're looking at, being in the red, being in the black. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at, profit margins. So yeah, it is good business when you can stay above that red line.
Right.
But the question is it kingdom business? Because when you say nonprofit, you're thinking something charitable. You're thinking, we're gonna help. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do these things. And Scripture says that you ain't supposed to, be rah-rah about what you do.
Yeah. You're not supposed to do it for men, right?
Right.
For
it's to
right. Yeah.
So if that's the case, why are we looking for tax breaks?
Right.
Now I understand why you're looking for a tax break. I get it, because it's good business, but is it kingdom business? And I think that should be the question, because man, it's funny this is coming late, because I just seen something about Germany and Hitler. And the first two things when he came into power, the first two things he did was outlaw homosexual pornography, but that's that was one and the same.
Right.
For him. He outlawed that, and then he outlawed interest rates. So basically, it's like, okay, if you're gonna give somebody something, you're gonna give it to them. You're not looking for something in return. And with these tax breaks, you're giving because you're gonna get it back. You're getting something back in return. So yeah, I'm gonna give you this this $1,200 because I know I'm gonna get it back. So I'm not giving it, out of the kindness. I'm giving it because I know I'm gonna get it back, and I'm gonna get it at the end of the year. So it's kind of like I'm saving the money. I'm not donating these two vehicles to this nonprofit because I'm not gonna use them and they need them. I'm gonna get that bread back.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a question of whether it's good business or not, because it's definitely good business, but it's a kingdom business.
Is it good business? See, that's the question. Because good business, I think, would be kingdom business.
I don't know. I think good business would be, no, successful. A good business would be that you're, successful in business. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're, good everywhere else. Because regular business and kingdom business is two different things. Like, that's not, I don't know if that can even, like, I don't know if say, what's one of these organizations?
United Way?
No.
Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
No. I'm trying to think of one. FDA.
FDA?
Yes.
Federal Drug Administration?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, we know that they ain't really about helping people. They're about getting these payoffs and pushing whatever drug of the day is, pushing it through. We know this. This is facts. This has been proven. This is not conspiracy. We know this. They make billions, and they make other people billions of dollars. So with a profit margin like that, that's good business. If I'm saying I'm all about the bottom line, but that ain't kingdom, because you're killing people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that should be the question.
Is it kingdom business? So there was a And I don't know if I sent it to you because I think it was on one of those days where I think I had already sent you a few, and I was like, okay, I'm about to kind of go down a rabbit hole and just like send a lot. So I might not have sent it, but there was actually a conversation, and it was amongst I want to say clergymen. I think some of them might have been pastors, but some of them might not have been pastors. They might have been elders in their church or that sort of thing. But the conversation was, is there any such thing as, is there any such thing as a, I want to phrase it right, as a kingdom business. I want to phrase it right. I want to get the right wording.
Recently?
It was recently. It was within the last 2 weeks. It was in the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
You said that, I probably missed it.
Okay. I might not have, because like I said, I believe it was on one of these days where I had already sent you a few, and I was like, oh, I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to send it to him tomorrow, what have you. And I don't think I ever even saw it again. But that was the topic. It was, is there any such thing as a kingdom business, as a kingdom corporation? That's what it was. Kingdom corporation. They were like, there is no such thing. Like, you cannot have a business, like people, they always want to say, oh, this is, they're building up this business God's way or that sort of thing. And these men were basically in consensus, like there was no such thing. It was only 2 or 3. But they were like, there's no such thing. Like, you don't try to twist it. Don't try to say this is a, kingdom business. And I was like, okay, I'm going to send this later. Because I think one guy was even talking about someone that he was like, he knew someone that sold Bibles. And he was just like, he found fault even in his setup of how, Yeah. It was like they were
overcharging.
I don't remember what his the gripes were, but I think they were just saying, because there is some scripture that says that you're not supposed to sell knowledge, and they were like, that's the epitome of like selling knowledge, like it's supposed to be what you're supposed to just have. And they had scriptures, they had something backed it up. And like I said, it was a good little, but it was a while. It was longer. It was a longer video. I think it was like over at least it was if it was an hour, it was just an hour, but it was definitely longer than like 40 minutes. And I had already sent you a few, like I think about 3 that day. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back around to this. And I never did, and I should have, because I don't even know how I would search out that now. But that was the premise. It was like, is there any such thing as a kingdom corporation or a holy business? It was something along those lines, and it was a very it was a great topic. It was a great topic. So
sounds like it.
Yeah, it was a great topic.
Well, I'm gonna say this again, doing my research. There was I think I showed you this too, about the monastery. It was making millions.
Yeah, you showed me.
Okay, yeah. So here it is. They $1 million business.
Mm.
And it was all tax free. It's all on the up and up. And I mean, when you talk about $1 million business, I mean, this would be, I guess, considered a corporation. This is a small one, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't.
Yeah, like I had not thought of, until I saw this thing. I had honestly never thought of there not being like, because like you said, of course, if you're operating a ministry, if you're doing good on the ministry, how is that not?
I mean, you got to keep.
But like I said, I had never considered on the other side. I had never considered. I mean, like any of their statements.
Because my thing is this: I mean, if you're gonna have a ministry, does that mean you have to be poor? Does that mean you have to struggle?
No, I don't. I think this is a great discussion, because I don't think that people, like I always say, when it comes to the whole rent thing, people think if I say I don't believe in paying rent, they'd be like, "Oh, are you homeless?" Like they think there's no there's no middle ground, and you can keep the lights on without being disgustingly rich.
Oh no, I know that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like okay, so for saying that the guy that was selling Bibles.
Right.
Okay, you're not gonna get rich selling Bibles. Well,
you might. Yeah, especially like you said, because what's the first thing you ask? How much was he charging?
Yeah.
And I don't know, but that might have been a reason why legitimately they were saying that this cannot be
But I mean, like there was a time where Bible business, guys selling Bibles would go door to door selling Bibles.
There was a time.
These guys are not the guys that's getting rich. These guys, they're not. So you telling me that they're wrong?
But okay, those guys may not have been, but this might have been a venture where that was someone that had figured out a way to capitalize on. Because let's also be very frank, y'all. And I will hold this up to anybody, and I care not that people have wealthy people in their family, and they are very benevolent and they are good people. My grandmother was very wealthy, and she was wealthy. And literally, like there are things that I saw my grandmother accomplish that I've never seen someone do, and so I'm not saying that because again, money is the root of evil. That does not mean that everybody who has money is evil, if you get what I'm saying. But I will say this, that when you're talking about building up wealth, somebody had to be stepped on. Somebody had to be undercut. Somebody has to be underpaid in order to make a profit on top of. And that's just the way, like I say, I can argue with people to the hills. I choose not to. But I've known wealthy people, and I've known very, like I said, very benevolent, very well-meaning, and very just like I said, good-hearted people, and they had money that didn't make them like this evil person. They weren't evil people, but I for sure am still, exceptions don't change standards, and I for sure believe that someplace, somewhere, somebody had to get underpaid and overworked in order to help that person become profitable, help that person turn profits. I found a lot of, I don't know if you ever went back and watched the video that I shared with you, the one from the Wall Street Trapper guy, but no, I found a lot of jewels and what he was saying. And I do believe that as well, that the way to truly build a wealthy, empire is to invest in people, to just treat the people like they're very valuable. I truly believe that. But I also believe that there are not a lot of people that operate that way. There aren't enough people that operate that way to change there aren't enough exceptions of doing it that way to change the standard of what becoming wealthy in this country means. And since I have only lived in this country, I'm only a citizen of this country, I can't say if it's done this way in other countries. I can just speak up to which the country that I belong and I'm a citizen to, and what I've seen.
I get what you're saying about the, somebody's gonna get the short end if somebody else is getting rich.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I totally agree with that, because it could be a situation where as though you are the business, like that one particular person, like you are the business.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And it might be something that that only you can do, like certain say computer programmers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You come up with whatever operating system, and bing 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 bing, clickety clack, boom, you sell it and you're rich now.
I think that this happens. I just don't think enough of that happens. I think that does happen. Like I said, like I've known a couple of people that are wealthy, and for all intents purposes, from what I know of them, they just weren't mean. They weren't mean. They weren't callous. They weren't nasty. They weren't. They were not those type of people. Like I said, I've seen my grandmother literally tip waitresses hundreds of dollars. You know, like I've seen that. I've come close a couple times. I tipped a waitress one time $70. I was very proud of myself. It hasn't happened a lot, but at the same time, I can also 60. Oh, that's good.
From shit.
That's awesome. Oh, you said you got one. Yeah. I said gave one.
Oh, I would never give $6.
Wow, I gave a $70. $72, y'all. Count me. Maury's Japanese Steakhouse. Count it, baby. $72. Those people love me, and I love them. More yummy sauce. More yummy sauce for everybody.
This guy from 2 Men in the Truck. Stupid name. Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's not Kingdom.
It's not. That's why I cut it short. But listen, Josh was so I used to work for 2 Men in the Truck, right? For the most part, the owner he wasn't a bad guy. I think the problem is I knew too much about driving them trucks.
And that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. I think that's going to be the most.
And I knew
I know
Jokers was severely underpaid.
I knew my grandmother, but I didn't know her in these other like what I love.
But wait, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
So I get what you're saying. Like I said, I understand what you're saying because for him to stay where he needed to be, he had to pay these guys almost below market value. But here's the thing though. When you put it next to the other moving companies, 2 Men in Trucks is a moving company.
Right.
When you put it next to the other companies, he was actually paying slightly more.
Right.
And it's also why the other companies' turnover rate, the turnover on these companies is ridiculous anyway. Like nobody stays more than like maybe 5-6 months. You get a year out of somebody, man, you doing good. Jokers quit all the time. So he was paying a little more, but it was still Jokers was underpaid, especially the drivers, because the drivers had to drive and you had to move. So, you're doing double duty and you had to keep the paperwork. It was Jokers was underpaid. And I think the problem with me was I just knew too much because I'm just coming off OGR. So, bro, you tripping.
But you came up OTR where you were second in command for getting the most money too. So
wait, but I'm just saying though, but I knew the numbers though.
You came off working under a Josh, but you were the Josh you just didn't have people working under you. I was
kind of like the Joe.
Okay, but they don't know the hierarchy. But what I'm saying is that you were. That's why the same thing that people always say about MLMs, multi-level marketing, companies, businesses, what have you. Only the top 2 are going to get paid. Everybody else is going to make it do what it do.
But I'm doing the paperwork, so I see the receipts.
Right.
So I know what that job paid.
Right.
I know what you got from these people. I know that you just pretty much bent them over and raped them.
Okay.
I know what you charged them. And then for you to give us what you gave us, now I do understand the overhead too.
Right.
I do understand the maintenance of the trucks, insurance,
crazy,
gas. I understand all of that, so I know. But when you got 10 trucks and 9 of these things is on the road, brother, I know what you just pulled in that day.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know, low end, a local move is going to be somewhere up around between 8 and a stack. So I know what you got. Like I said, you got 10 trucks. 9 of us on the road. The only reason the 10th truck in the road is because it's broke down. So, I know what he pulled in that day.
Right. But that's what that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, you know too much.
Right.
but that's what I'm saying. Most people, you look at someone and you look at someone and you're saying, oh, wow, well, you can look at a person, like somebody could look at, take him for example, and say, oh, he does these mission trips and he contributes to his church and he gives over amount of this to this charity every year, every month, every, what have you, every quarter. And this is a good person. But somewhere in there, there has been some undercutting. That's what I'm saying. As good as my grandmother is, as good as she, the greatness that I saw her exhibit and the way that she lived, I saw her living very well. I have to be very aware also. I only knew my grandmother not even a quarter of how long she was living. I only knew her for 27 years. So we have to, and she was 88 at the time of her passing. So we have to keep that in mind. That's why I said I love those movies. Or as my daughter used to call them, movies. She used to always pronounce it like Movefees. Excuse me, movies. When are we going to the movies? I love those movies, or those shows that they'll take like an act and you'll see that act and they'll be like so big, but then you find out the underside of it. Like the movie I Care a Lot that we just watched the other day, right? Like somebody on the outside to be like, oh no, she's doing God's work. She's doing this and she's charitable. And that's why life is all about perspective. So the same thing with these businesses, with these kingdom businesses, with these holy corporations. It's about perspective. Because on this side of it, you might look at it. Let's take Tyler Perry, for example. Okay. People might look at Tyler Perry and they might say, oh, this guy is like goals. This is Black excellence. He bought this land. He created this whole studio. And, instead of trying to get a seat at the table, he built the table and blah, blah, blah. And then you have these writers unions that say, he only hires white writers. He ain't got no Black writers up there. He's the only Black writer in there. You have some that say that. Oprah is another one. You take all that she's done and all she's accomplished, but you take a perspective and they say, oh, she never had Black people on her staff. Like the only Black person on her staff is the person doing her hair. And, she wasn't making these type of opportunities for other people of color, other women of color specifically. Right. There was the woman that was literally just fired, or she quit before she was fired. Excuse me. She was the lead officer for the VA in Atlanta. And she was on record. Someone had recorded her saying in a staff meeting that she was not interested in hiring any more Latino or Black women because they had major attitudes. And she got held under fire for saying this, right? And so she got suspended. And a couple of days ago, she literally quit because they were coming on the end of the investigation. It was looking like they were going to fire her. And so she went ahead and quit before that happened so that she could still, salvage somewhat of her record. I don't know whether she continues to go on and continue in that field of work or what have you. But, it's all about perspective. Like from her perspective, this might have been something that was very real and very true. And she can't have, she can't just feel like she was forced to hire out just to be able to say, okay, I have a diverse and I'm adhering to these policies. But months from now, she knows it's going to be a problem because she knows what type of attitudes and personalities do well in that particular field, which is her expertise. It's unfair. It seems like it. And it seems like it's almost counterproductive in some cases because like you can only go so much forward. But it is a reality that there are different nuances to everybody. And so as much as I did not like I Care a Lot because I saw where it was going after a certain point, I do believe there's a lot of truth to that depending on the perspective, depending on the time in which you knew this person, it might very well be true. I love that quote. I've seen it on social media, and after I do this quote, I definitely want I want to get into more of that Dr. Umar conversation that we were talking about yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But the quote that's on, if someone tells you, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a liar, I'm a cheat, I'm a whatever, I would say, if depending on who told you and when they knew me, right? Because yeah, quite honestly, I know some people for sure would probably call certain people a liar if you say to them, oh no, Courtney's like into the church and she's like leading this ministry and she's on to this and that. They'd be like, who? Courtney who? Like, what are you talking about? This girl is not on that. Depending on when they knew me. They don't know the Courtney. They don't know the Courtney Omega dolls. They knew this other Courtney Omega. They knew this other Courtney. They knew this other Corey. They knew this other pumpkin. They don't know Courtney Omega dolls. Corey. Because I told you, like, when I would be out and about with my nephew, he called me Corey. He never called me Courtney. Mm-hmm. And so in certain areas, if I didn't want to talk to a guy, and he'd be like, Corey, they'd be like, that's your son? And I'd be like, yeah, that's my son. That's my son. And they'd be like, oh, you let him call you by your name? And he'd be like, oh, they'd be like, what's your name? I'd be like, it's Corey. It's Corey. And they'd be like, oh, your son call you by your name? I said, because he just hears other people calling me my name. He don't hear other people calling me mom. And they would be like, oh yeah, like that would make sense.
It doesn't.
But I would that's where I would get out of. How about the Washington Commanders brother dogs? Wait, he put the brother THAH. Wow.
You know what?
Wow.
I'm gonna say this.
Okay, go ahead and say that.
And I'm gonna leave it alone.
Cut that. Cut that.
No hate. Mm-hmm. Only congratulate. Salute. But
wait, why would I be saluting? Y'all beat me. Y'all beat us. I wouldn't be saluting. I'm gonna take my salute back.
Salute. Congratulations. Whatever.
I'm canceling your salute.
Ain't no hate.
I'm canceling I'm canceling his salute.
Ain't gonna be no hate.
I'm canceling his salute.
My boy stink, but I'm still repping and watch like that. You already. And that's something I ain't saying nothing else about that.
I'm taking back your salute. You're not saluting that. You're not saluting that.
Gotta get props when props is due.
That's no props. Because if it had been the other way around, you wouldn't have been giving no props.
To who?
You wouldn't have been giving no props to the Eagles. He's a hater.
We talking about the NFC Championship game. They didn't even play yet. Today is Saturday.
Oh, okay. He's just saying. Oh, so it is kind of okay. Yeah. So we're gonna continue to give the salute. I thought that we were talking about the.
Don't get me wrong.
I thought they had beat the Eagles.
I want to try to thump on them Eagles so bad.
Wait. So why would you say that?
I cannot watch them.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to move. We're going to move past. Yeah. Thank you. So anyway, no, it would make sense because if he's a kid and he's hearing people call me my name, he's not going to be like, oh, blah, blah, and he was a kid.
I heard people call my mother her name forever. The only time I call my mother her name is when I'm trying to be funny.
But again, you weren't 4 when this happened.
No,
you weren't like 4.
4 was mommy.
You're saying that as your age now, but you don't know what it was when you were there.
I'm sure it was mommy because if it wasn't, you seen my mama.
Yeah, but I'm saying no. Quite honestly, you wouldn't have known. Like you wouldn't have had that memory. So I'm saying that it was accepted that yes, that makes sense that people just called me my name and he just called me my name and I didn't want to be like, hey, I'm your mama all the time. So that's just what it was. Oh, it's been doing that. I don't know. But yes, I'm you're back on the salute. Okay. But don't be getting up in here when you play the Eagles. I think they're okay. This is the most like because I don't watch football that much anymore, but this is the most I don't have any bad feelings for this particular run of Eagles. I didn't have any bad feelings when Michael Vick was there either, but I saw what was happening to Michael Vick, and I was very much in opposition to what was happening to him physically. And I was just like, man, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. But moving right along to somebody else from Philly, Dr. Umar. Let's see what Dr. Umar got to say about this school, y'all. I need to type up a thing. We got the Eagles tomorrow. Yes, I know. I realized that because at first I was thinking it was Sunday, because we've been kind of off of our days because there have been so much missed school this week.
Oh my God.
I was thinking that today was Sunday, but yes, I realized that yes, the game is actually tomorrow. We shall see.
So Dr.
Umar, we're going to do the school update. I'm going to have a banner next time so that we can always do this FDMG University update or FDMGS update now.
So Dr. Umar gave an interview that I ran across. I think was it yesterday?
Yeah.
I ran across it yesterday.
Yeah.
Either yesterday or the day before. I'm not really sure. I don't know how old the interview is. I didn't really check. I just kind of listened to it and I kept pushing. So he was talking about contractors, and he said in the beginning it would bother him, but now it doesn't. He's over it. So apparently, he was getting black contractors, and he said all the contractors that he hired was just after the bag. They didn't. They was overcharging him and wasn't getting the job done. So he started hiring white contractors. And they was overcharging him, but they was getting the job done. And he said what black contractors couldn't do in 5 years, white contractors did in a year. Oh. And me being in the business, I know that there are contractors out there that overcharge and don't get the job done, or string you along so they can just, basically, bleed you. Now, it ain't just black contractors that do this. White contractors do this. And there are more white contractors than there are black contractors. So just don't share numbers. The white boys do it more. I also know that even if a contractor is overcharging you, most likely if you went with a black contractor, he probably overcharged you because he had no other work. So he's trying to keep the lights on.
That's a great point.
So he's like, okay, Dr. Umar, he got some bread.
He got the bread.
So
Naima said she saw that interview. Want to hear your thoughts about it? Great.
So again, like I said, because this is my business. I do that. And when you only got the one job, yeah, you might actually string it along a little bit. Say, hey, listen, it's gonna take a little longer than what I expected. So, because remember what I told you, like with the properties, with these properties, like when you build it from the ground up, like construction companies do this all the time. Like they're scheduled for a 3-year job. If it's done in 4 years, you're ahead of the game. So this is not, this is what's done. Especially if you're dealing with the city, state, or somebody you feel as though got some bread. This is what they do. Now, your reputation is always on the line. Like when I had the situation with this dude with the drywall.
Yeah.
I didn't care about nothing other than the fact that he screwed up my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to pay me. I don't even want to, because I'm gonna get mad all over again. Anyway, a lot of business gets, especially in the contract world, it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's not, we're not, on billboards. We're not commercials and things of that nature. It's word of mouth. You're like, hey, I know a guy that knows a guy, and you know, my name pops up or Jay's name pop up, and then you know you hit that, and then you get, you know, like what Jay just got with the with that strip thing, but you know, where he bubbling now because his name is out there. Once your name is out there, you good. So 9 times out of 10, what happened was, again, just from sheer numbers, it's not a lot of us in that contracting game, at least not licensed. You know, you got the guys around the corner, you know, Raheem's uncle, you know, he know how to do drywall. So you go get him. Because you know you're gonna get a discount because he's not licensed, so he's not gonna charge you what a licensed contractor is gonna charge you. But when you do get one of these, one of us that's licensed, yeah, he gonna bust you in the head. He has to. So I understand from both ends. Now the fact that they wasn't getting the job done, I mean, you know, you had every right to fire him and do whatever you had to do. But I mean, I get it on both sides, and I understand that he was probably looking for. Well, I don't know if he was looking for the homie discount, but if he, I mean, I don't know, but I get it though. I get it. But there's one thing I will say is this: like with the white boys, if they're gonna overcharge you, they probably gonna get the job done. They may linger a little bit, stretch it out, but they'll get it done.
Because they have another job coming up anyway.
Exactly.
They have another job so they have to get to. They have another job. 9 times out of 10, they have another job they got to get to anyway. So they have accounts lining up, and this is the rub, and that's why I said it was a really good conversation that we had yesterday when you know, Husband brought it to me, because I was the same. Like I'm saying, I can understand. Like on one hand, you don't want to undercut or undervalue the services, right? You don't want to underappreciate the person doing the services, because quite honestly, we have literally generations of us, and we look around all around America, and we can see that these were we are descendants of people that were not paid, overworked, slave to do this work. So no, you don't want to be the person that does that to your own people. You don't want to do that. But the flip side of that is the reality is that that's the type of deals they do for each other all the time. They build each other's places, properties, golf courses. They do it for each other all the time. But when we ask for us to do it of each other, we're like, oh, you know, you're trying to take advantage, and that's just bad business. But they do it for each other. So why? So we're accused, we're vilified, and we're you know, it's weaponized for us to do it for each other. It's discouraged for us to do it for each other. When the fact of the matter is that they do it for each other
all the time. They
do it for each other. They build. I worked for a developer, and literally he had my coworker write up a lease for his niece to say that she could live in this brand new built out townhome, and her rent was she had to take at least 3 showers a week. Like, he was being funny, and he literally had like my coworker write up this lease. Like, he was just being funny, like, you know, just to say, hey, you know, she's on a lease. And so it was just like, in the fact that he literally, like I said, it was my coworker, so he literally paid her. You know, this is all part of her salary to be writing up these leases. So literally, he didn't mind using company time, company money to make up this, you know, funny haha prank lease for his niece. And like I said, they do that for each other all the time, but it's discouraged for us to do it, because guess what? Us doing it for each other also does. It creates unity. And we have to understand and appreciate that is, and I'm surprised at Dr. Umar for not understanding or not voicing that, or with recognizing that is what that's about. For him to bring attention to that, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just kind of pretended just moved it along, just get the school built and open, and that's where it goes, but to bring attention to that, it's almost like you're doing that work for them, which is making us not trust each other, making us doubt each other, making us feel like we can't work together because we're going to want to come up discount. We're going to want, we're going to want you to do it for the cheap or do it for free. And the fact of the matter is that they operate with these same codes. They operate in the same type of, this same, in the same fashion. They operate the same way. Other groups can do it for each other all the time, but we are discouraged of doing it for each other.
Yeah, that creates the working together thing. That's like a whole different. Like we can do probably a 3-hour show on that.
Yeah.
Very easily. But what I'm saying is what I'm about to say is this. This is what jokers don't understand. And like contractors, and this is with any black business, especially when you first starting out. You're gonna take some L's. I promise you, guarantee you're gonna take some L's. Some things ain't gonna get paid on.
I think throughout having your own business, that's what happens.
Yeah. So
it's just that you see it, you feel it more when it's your business. Right. But companies that you work for, they're moving and shifting and cooking books and moving numbers all the time too.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this though, it's all about the return business.
Yeah.
Okay. So when like I've told you this before, listen, look, I'm about the return business. So yeah, I'll come in at a low price, knowing that I'm not, I'm undervaluing my work because I want you to come back. So my thing is this: I treat it like if I'm on the streets, like if I'm on the corner and I'm bending blocks and I'm hugging a block, like yeah. Old boy up there, he ain't gonna take that change because he don't want to be jiggling. He ain't gonna take the short because he's trying to go out Friday night. Nah, give me that change. I'm gonna take that short. You know why? Because you're gonna come back. So I'm gonna get rid of my pack before he get rid of his. So it's all about the re-up. So now, I'm gonna bang that nail for less than what he gonna do. I'm gonna put that plaster on there. I'm gonna put that drywall up for less. You know why? Because one, in Umar's case, it's a school. These are kids. Stuff break all the time. Mm-hmm. Who you gonna call? Wait, not Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call? You gonna call me. Why? Because I gave you that good price. So this is about the return business. And this is what these dudes don't understand. So yeah, don't try to get the rent paid, the light bill, the phone bill, the car note, and insurance off of Umar. Nah, okay, listen.
Yeah.
Maybe the insurance gotta wait a couple weeks. It's gonna be late. Maybe the phone bill, I gotta get that what's the talk tone number? Mm-hmm. Gotta get that Wi-Fi number. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I gotta, hey, listen, bro, I need a couple $100 to you such. You're gonna have to do that. But you know what? The return business is gonna come back. And this is what a lot of us don't understand. When you first start out, you're gonna take them out.
That's not just, like I said, I don't think that's first starting out. But and one thing that I will say to the point as well, if you can do it for lesser than, especially if it's something that you're going to be able to get, qualify, or you can be able to guarantee yourself some return business on, or you can be able to count on the fact they're going to refer you to someone else and you're going to be able to get another account going. But definitely, and this is if I'm ministering to you, like I always say, if I'm ministering to you, I'm ministering to me too. Get everything in writing. Get everything in writing so that they understand. They understand and they look at that. and they're able to actually shop that around, because something that they used to do at the gym when we were doing like these different memberships, they would not put things in writing because they were like, if you put it in writing, they can go to another gym and say, hey, can you beat this because they guaranteed me this for this price. And it's not necessarily going to guarantee them coming back to you. And so that is something that became discouraged, like putting it in writing. Whereas on this side of the game, I always tell people, put it in writing, because there's something about putting it in writing. It makes the commitment true for you. So you don't have to worry about, you should not be, rather not that you don't have to worry about, but you should not be focused on somebody else coming in and, coming lower than you. You just need to be focused on the fact that, hey, I committed to do it for this price. So it's almost like an agreement with yourself. So that's like a general, I think that should become more of a standard rule of thumb, especially when you're in the business of somewhat being competitive to other people, that you want to make sure that you're sticking true to the one person that you should be the most competitive with is yourself. That way, you ain't worried about what somebody else is going to do it for. What somebody else ain't gonna do it for. You're worried about, hey, I'm gonna do it for you, and I'm gonna have it done by this date, and I'm gonna have it done for this amount, and move forward that way. But I definitely think that Umar should have rather remained hush hush about all of this until these doors are open. Because at this point, Umar is, and again, trust me, I get it. If I'm ministering to you, I'm ministering to me too. I know how it is when the people that are talking the loudest literally contribute the least about how long it's taking you and what's going on with your school and that sort of thing. And the pressure might be on there, but I think it speaks most volumes to just have it open. Just have the school open, and then you tell people, hey, this is what it took to get it done. But yeah, I think calling out brothers.
We got to do better.
We do. Trust me, I'm all about that. But
these dudes need to do better,
you're not gonna say babe. On one end, you're saying this, but then on the other end, you mad at old boy saying that he ain't cheap. Like, come on. Like, yeah, so nah. But that's what I'm saying. We gonna keep the same.
But he came out and said that. Like, nobody asked you about that though. You just like, why you volunteering? Like, nobody even asked you that. Nobody asked you for a price, chump.
No, we didn't ask him for a price, but we were talking about the plantation and about him. That was the conversation. I was like, oh, I would love to like get some artwork in there. And that's when he offered and said that he was not cheap.
Anybody even ask you like for a discount? Like what are you talking about?
No, but we were talking about getting his artwork in there.
Like, anybody say what you charge? No. Anybody say none of that?
No, but still, we were still talking about artwork. But what I'm saying is that the consistency is needed. That like, yes, if we're gonna say, hey, charge what you're worth, get paid what you're worth, and do the work. We've never seen what this person could do. It's just been very, it hasn't been positive talk.
But I mean, like,
or this was before we saw what he did.
I mean, again with Umar and the contractors again, because like I said, like that's my world, so I kind of know what's going on over there, and probably what happened. Like I said, like these guys probably didn't have another job lined up, so they was trying to stretch it to another one, came along and then couldn't get it done. But my thing is like, look, get it done. There's going to be some return business. Not only that, but you talking about Dr. Umar. You bust for him, he might, he'll put your name out there.
Maybe, but maybe not.
You gotta. Hey, yo, listen, man. I did you right, bro. Give me some airplay.
I don't know. I think sometimes, like again, people get caught. They're moving on, and they have to move on.
Yeah, but this is why when you get guys like that, when you get jobs for guys like that, for like the Umars and Tyler Perrys and all these, these guys with names, don't try to rake them over the coals. You charge what you're worth. Don't overcharge them. And then you're like, listen, bro, I did you right. Let me get some airplay, man. I'm just getting started. Give me some airplay. I think he respected. But what is Yeah, it's like, give me some airplay. I think they respect it. But again, like I said, man, I don't know. I kind of you gotta it's all about the return business, man. It's all about the re-up.
I think the re-up should be guaranteed before. If you are in a position where you cannot pay for, or you cannot afford to be short on anything, you say, hey, this is something that I can do repairs, blah blah, for these next few months or years out, as long as you have this amount in every first or every whatever of the month, this amount is up, like you almost like installments, maybe, if you can afford to do it that way, because that way you're guaranteed. No, like installments, like they get a job and they're paid it in installments, so that they know that, okay, if it's something like, if it's rent or something that's a consistent or it's a consistent or routine payment that's being drafted out, they know that this is going to be in there for the month of, instead of getting that, trying to get that lump sum all up front. Well, that's what I said, for what you can do it for. For what you can do for, that might be a better option. So that way you can stretch it. You can stretch it out over months, over years, as long as they know, as long as you know, or you're assured that yes, 700 on the 2nd or the 4th or the 9th is going to be here every month. I'll do it for, I'll take, this or that. Remember that we were talking a couple of weeks ago about that study that was done, said people would be literally willing to take like 20% off of their checks if they were getting paid every week. Like they would be okay with that. Like, oh, you want to take this amount of money off of my whole salary, off of my whole, out of my whole check, as long as I'm getting this amount every week, I'm okay. Like they're willing to negotiate a bit more.
I think,
should a person negotiate a price? Is that a good idea? Depending on, I think, what it's for.
I think, yeah, exactly.
Depending on what it's for. Yeah.
Contract, we do that all the time.
Yeah.
Contracts, we do that all the time. Like, it's not a whole lot of jobs like that have like set prices. It ain't like bread is $2.99. It's not. Mm-hmm. Because you always find like like this like once you start opening up walls, you're always gonna find something else wrong. So what might have been, an $800 job now just turned into a $1,500 job, depending on what it is. So that price is always negotiable, and this is why, with contracts, the longer we on a job, the more we're gonna get paid. Mm-hmm. So, because that means there's more work to be done. So it's not. Yeah, like that price is always negotiable for contractors. Like it depends on what it is. Now, if you say, okay, like say a drywall job, a finished job, which means I didn't have to hang it. All I got to do is throw the mud on there and sand it, make it smooth, whatever. That's anywhere from $800 to $1,200, depending on how many feet I got to do. So, like I said, like this, it's always negotiable. Always negotiable. So, yeah, I think you should negotiate probably anything, right?
No.
You should. Everything is not negotiable?
No, I think like those membership prices for Color Cafe, I'm not negotiating that.
Oh, but that's
what I'm saying. You can negotiate anything. That's what we said. Depends on what it is. So this is one of the situations where I'm not going to negotiate that.
You can't negotiate
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a set price.
That's a set. Yeah. The only thing it's not a negotiation situation. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I'm ever willing to do is take a few dollars off of whatever that set price is, just for that 1 month. Just for you to get your bearings right, and then the next month, it's what it is. It's no negotiation though. It's not like, oh, can I just get it one more time this month and then no.
Well, hey, I'm gonna send you $10.
No.
For these 2 bags.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
that's not negotiable.
What,
it depends on what it is. Yeah. It depends on what it is. So this I guess this week we have coming up, we should be back on regular schedule for Wednesday, because I don't think anything in particular is happening.
Wednesday?
Yeah, because I'm kind of, I don't need no more vision and worship sessions on Wednesday nights myself. Speaking of corporate businesses, I don't need no more of those sessions.
I might be at the
doing the boards.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be around that time. Yeah, 5. That would be. Well, we'll keep you posted. Then we might. No, we can't do no more late nights. We have to move it probably to Thursdays. So yeah. No, but other than that,
I got Torah Thursday.
No, Torah is late though. Like I said, Wednesday is that worship service is right around the same time. Torah is not until the evening, so that would not be. So. Moving forward, we should, like I said, either or Wednesday or Thursday be back on regular time and schedule. But definitely always looking forward to having more conversation, y'all. Gotta see what the energy is, to see what the topic will be. This particular one, like I said, this was just something that we were kind of talking about behind the scenes a little bit and brewing it up. We were just like, okay, we should have this.
Talking about something else too. I don't remember though.
Then why mention it?
Because I thought maybe you know.
Mm-mm. If I knew, I would have said. Mm-hmm. So until next time.
No, that ain't it. Maybe next time. Okay. I don't have any what's the names. Nobody famous kick the bucket.
That's not what you call it.
Nobody's off the count.
Nobody's off the count. That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So until next time, y'all know what to do. Probably won't be on the Sabbath, but glow up anyway.
Good.